Dol Guldur are famed for their terror. Thrain, father of Thorin Oakenshield, perished here, though not before passing his legacy to Gandalf the Grey.
Welcome back, friends, to more Lord of the Rings Online. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the Dungeons of Dol Guldur. Who knows, I want to see what is all the fuss. That is my barrel, get out of here. Maybe it's a good place to rest. Time to nap. So these barrels make the trolls fall asleep. Now I do have some bad news. In this episode and the next several,
what are you doing?
My microphone is not working.
Leave the barrels alone.
But I'll talk more about that in just a little bit, because I'm doing the voiceover here after the fact. So I've already recorded this and I lost the audio voiceover for it. Very unfortunate. I was using OBS, which is a recording software, and it's very easy and convenient to use, but then I did an update on it before recording this in the next several episodes, and I don't know why this was a good idea for them to think this, but the update basically reset all my settings, and I didn't notice that it wasn't recording my microphone. I had to go back and reset everything, so I've been pretty upset about the whole thing, and I've actually taken quite a long break from producing these episodes, because while I was editing these and realized I was going to have to re-record the voiceovers, I got kind of frustrated. But I'm finally ready and willing to finish all this up, get it all edited, produced. But anyways, that's enough talk about that. So this barrel that I just picked up is again to make some of the trolls fall asleep. This instance is very interesting in the sense that there are a ton of elves that I have to rescue here, and these trolls patrol the halls here, and if they see you, they throw you in prison. And the challenge associated with this instance is for you to save all of the elves, but you have to time everything. There's a central wing, there's a east wing, a west wing, and there's a certain number of elves in each wing that you have to save. And once you uncover the location of all the elves in one wing, you only have 1 minute to save all of them together, or the door shuts. So it does require timing, because you have to work out the pattern of the trolls and everything else. So here's one of the elves, as you can see, and there's a quest to save each of the elves. As you can see, I have 2 quests active right now, but it's going to take several runs of this instance to get all of the quests. I'm only going to be doing 1 run, obviously, and then I'll come back to it at some point. So most of the prisons here are going to just have some enemies, perhaps some barrels, and only a few of them will actually have some of the elves. And I do apologize again if what I'm doing is not really making sense with what I'm talking about, but as you can see, we just got caught by one of the trolls, and this is what happens when you get caught. He puts you in this prison, and it's basically back at the start of the location. So you certainly don't want to get caught once you've decided to free the elves, or else that's going to screw up everything. The other thing is that all the elves that you do rescue, they will help you in the final fight. So the more you rescue, the easier that will be. This is a 6-man instance, but I'm doing it with a max level lore master here, just the 2 of us. And I think I set the level at 65 here, so it should be pretty easy for us. You just have to be careful and look around all the corners before you move, that way you don't get caught. So it looks like we've cleared up most things in this wing. We may be ready to free the elves. Looks like there's a few more over here. 2 more prison cells. Nothing in that one. And 1 more elf here. looks like another cell. Look pretty empty. So I think we're ready to make the first escape. So we have to time this out. Gotta wait for the trolls that are patrolling to be in an optimal position. And then my friend is gonna make a run for it. I'll try to rescue one of the elves, I think. And we'll try to use our barrels a little bit more strategically. And I guess I'm wrong. We're not ready just yet. There's more cells. See, that's the problem with recording the voiceover after the fact. I can't really remember what I did. It's been a while since I recorded this. Like I said, I was out of commission for I don't know, maybe 3 weeks or so, not wanting to re-record the audio for this. I was getting ready to finish up the season, so I went back and was trying to edit some of these episodes, get them all ready and polished and good to go. And it's like, nope, gotta go back and re-record. Alright, so we got one elf straight across here. And I think now, for real, we're ready to make the first escape. No, I keep saying that. These cells are never ending. Look how many of them there are. It's crazy. I think there's a very specific number of elves per side of the dungeon here. So if you know what that is, you can pretty much be done with it. I don't know off the top of my head how many there are per side. Looks like there is a third one here though. Now the thing is, you don't have to rescue all of these. But we're going to be trying to rescue all of them. I think we're waiting for the troll patterning here. So there's one coming from that right hallway. Just gonna wait for him to pass and then we'll probably make our move. Once you use the barrels on the trolls, they'll fall asleep for about a minute, so you do have to be pretty good with your timing on it. Alright, so here we go. So he's grabbing this first elf, I think. Or maybe not. Might be easier to start a little bit deeper down and then just get that last one on our way out. As you can see, it's pretty confusing there on the map. So, setting the barrel here, as you see, when the troll steps on it, he'll fall asleep. Didn't show it because we're ready to make our rescue. But you can see him talking, sleeping over there. Okay, so you basically just walk up to them, and you have to stay within a certain radius of the elves or they stop running. You physically have to escort them out. That one made its way to the central room. Now we can come here and try to rescue some of these. So once the first prisoner makes it out, once you get the message on the screen like that, you only have 1 minute until the wing closes permanently. So that's why you have to time the rescue of all the elves. And I think my friend here has already rescued most of them on his own. I'm just kind of sweeping the other side to make sure we didn't miss any. We got one, we got two. Thought there were 3 total, but maybe I'm wrong. So now we're gonna go to the north wing and start rescuing some of these. I think the north wing is the easiest of the 3, if I remember correctly. So you can see that the gate has sealed to that west wing. So like I said, time is limited once you initiate the first rescue. And I don't know what I was talking about there. Oh man, all the next episodes too, I gotta go back and re-record. And I know it's not as exciting when I have to go back and record the audio again, because it's not as genuine and authentic, because I'm not recording real time, you know? But I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best with the commentary here. I'm just glad this happened towards the end of the season and not the beginning. Sometimes I'll record a ton of episodes before I edit one, so I could have recorded like 15-20 episodes before even realizing that it wasn't picking up my microphone. That would have been bad. Thankfully, it was only about 6 episodes, I guess, which is still pretty significant, but at least it was also some of these instance episodes, because with the instance episodes, I don't spend so much time reading quest dialogue. It's going to be hard to sync up my reading with the quest dialogue on screen. That's going to be a bit of an issue too if I have to do that. I'll have to try and remember at what pace I was reading. I really like this instance. It is a little bit tedious, but it does force you to really think critically and do a lot of teamwork. There's some teamwork involved for sure when you're trying to coordinate the timing of everything. Everybody's got to have their position set to know what they're going to be doing, who's going to be dropping the nightshade barrels and where, and how long to wait before striking, studying the troll movement patterns. It's all pretty interesting. I think there's another component to this that if you get caught, I think it's 2 or 3 times in the same wing by a troll, then that wing permanently shuts down, so you also can't be getting caught too often. Now you can only have 1 nightshade barrel in your inventory at a time. That's another thing as well. Looks like there's a troll coming, so we're probably going to be hiding out here for a second. Or maybe not. There he goes. Took him long enough. free up these 3 rooms. By the way, you may have noticed that this lore master has a pet lynx that's following him around. So one thing to mention is that if you do have pets, like a herald if you're a captain, or some other pet if you're a lore master, the trolls cannot see them for the mechanics of the instance. So that is to say, if the troll sees a pet, you're not going to get caught and imprisoned. So you don't have to worry about dismissing or hiding your pets. And if you're doing this and you're trying to go for the challenge to release all of the prisoners, obviously one of the recommended strategies would be to start with the hardest wing first and work your way down to the easiest. That way, if you fail on the hardest one, you can quickly restart, as opposed to spending 20-30 minutes doing the other 2 wings and then failing on the hardest one and then having to try again. So I think we may have opened everything, maybe. I think actually there might be a couple more rooms here in the hallways as opposed to the ends. No, looks like we might have gotten them all. There's a good point of intersection too. Sometimes if you see an intersecting point, like right where the lore master is right now, that's a good place to drop a barrel, because if you're lucky, depending on the timing, you may be able to put 2 trolls to sleep with 1 barrel. And the more people you have in your fellowship, the more barrels you can use, so it is a little bit easier with more people, obviously. With just the 2 of us, there's only 2 barrel traps that we can set for the trolls. I think this is the final area. Just these 3 rooms here and we should be good to go. I think there's a troll coming, and that's why I desperately hid in this room. There he is. You may remember this dungeon as well from one of the epic quests. One of the epic quests was done here. The one where we finally rescued our dwarf friend from the dungeons. Here's the final elf. I think we're ready to make our escape. We'll just have to wait for the timing on the trolls, and then we'll decide where we're going to be placing the barrels, and we'll just make a run for it. So I think the lore master is telling me to hang in here until he gives me the signal, and then to rescue the elf on the left here. So he's kind of taking charge. He was a great person to do this instance with, because he's pretty familiar with it, and he took charge and led us to a pretty successful run, I would say, for the most part. This is one where you definitely need to know what you're doing. You can't just run in there and hope to blast all the enemies and make your way out. Looks Looks like that troll fell asleep with a barrel. Yep. And my friend is running back and forth. Kind of looks like those Scooby-Doo cartoons where the bad guys are running down a hallway from one door to the other. Kind of what it looked like. I just peer down this long hallway and see my friend running back and forth. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The old school Scooby-Doo cartoons. Alright, and then there's only this final one. Go ahead and grab him. There you go. So we've got 3 elves rescued on this side, it appears. So, building quite a company here. Looks like we got 5. So there should be 4 in the final wing. And this is kind of what I was talking about. You should start with some of the harder ones first. So I'm assuming the east wing is actually the hardest one. Because there's going to be 4 in there. Two, 3, and 4 it looks like. And none of those are the ones that are in my quest log as of yet. So yeah, I do think this east wing is the more challenging one. So I'd recommend starting with it. Just waiting for the patrols to pass so we can continue on a little bit further in. So there are 3 trolls in this wing patrolling, a little bit more heavily guarded. The enemy load here is not too bad. You could probably solo the beginning part of this instance if you're careful and you know what you're doing. I think only the boss is really going to require some heavy guns. So I'm thinking there's probably going to be 3 more here to make the full 9. This is definitely the biggest wing as well, as you can see. There's lots of hallways to go down, lots of rooms to open. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that when you do come upon a room in which there's an elf, you want to be careful to maintain your distance, because walking too close to the elf may trigger him to start escaping, and you obviously don't want to do that until you're ready to do so. And I'm staying behind a little bit here as to avoid some of the trolls. think there's only one more elf to rescue. Not in there. Probably here at this end. Not in that one. Probably in this room. There you go. I think that's all of them, and I think we're ready to make our escape. So now it's all about timing this. Getting the right trolls to fall asleep. Just waiting on the lore master to make the master plan. So there's one troll that patrols half, the bottom half, and then there's one that patrols the top half of the eastern wing in a rectangular fashion, and then there's a hallway down the middle, right? Kind of where I'm pointing. Yeah, see, that circle on the top, circle in the bottom, and then that hallway down the middle. Those are 3 troll paths. Hey, that kind of timed up nicely. Me showing that on the map while I was talking here. So I think I'm going to drop my barrel here if I remember correctly when that troll gets a little bit closer. Or maybe not. I think so. And this is where I kind of screwed up because I didn't know how close to let them get to me before dropping the barrel. I didn't want to drop it too late and get caught by the trolls, so I just kind of dropped it. So everything looks fairly clear, so I think I'm going to start escorting some of the elves out. There's that one that's going to fall asleep once he hits my poison cloud. But it ran out a little too soon, as you can see. Thankfully, that won't work. Alright. And then that one is still asleep. But it woke up right when we ran on top of it. So we kind of failed. We failed that part. We failed that wing. We were a little too late on it. Maybe just a second or two. I don't know if you noticed, but right as we stepped over that sleeping troll, the effect ran out and he woke up. And that's really what caught us. So yeah, we were not able to rescue all 9 elves in this run, but again, you don't have to. That's only for the challenge. And you only get the challenge quest if you're doing this on max levels. For all intents and purposes, it doesn't even matter. And the wing has closed permanently. So there you go. We managed to rescue a good number of them, though. So there's 3, 4, 5. It looks like 6.
Did you really think you could escape the dungeons of Guldur alive? All you have managed to do is to collect our enemies into one room. Now you too shall share in our prisoner's fate. You shall never leave this place alive.
So that is the warden of the prison, and he is indeed the final boss. And there are obviously some ads here.
You shall not leave my prison alive.
And like I mentioned, you can see all the elves that you rescue do help out. So the more you rescue, the easier time you'll have doing the final boss.
I was planning on sparing some of your lives no longer. Your threat means nothing. Is this how you want to play here? Terror
And there you
will
go.
be my ally.
That is the end of the dungeon. You can see all the elves making their escape. They're all happy.
Let terror
All
take
enjoying
you
life
all.
right now.
You will forever be.
There are some lootables here on some of the corpses. And then of course there's going to be the chest here in the corner. There is a deed to save all of the elves. But again, I'll have to come back to that. And do it again in the future once I'm a little bit more higher level and can solo some of these instances. My inventory is just blasted with items right now. And I had to make some room in order to collect everything here from the chests. And looks like I'm looking at this shield and deciding whether I should change it or not. I guess it does look a little bit better than the one I'm currently using, so I'm going to equip that. There you go. Get rid of the old one. Destroy a few other things, that way I can loot. Looks like I've grabbed everything though. Just gotta thank my friend here. And now I can get out of here, hopefully. Got the deed for killing the warden. And then, let's see. There's the deed for rescuing all the elves. As you can see, that's going to take some time for me to be able to do that. Because you only get 2 quests at a time when you start here. So if there are 9 elves, you've got to do this at least 10 times if you're lucky with how you get the quests allocated to you. Did I say 10 times? I might have said 10 times. I meant 5 times. Alright, so let me get out of here. And I'll make my way over to the entrance of the next instance that I'll be doing in the next episode. So those were the dungeons. Next up, I am going to go to one of the main towers here. Barad Guldur. And that should be pretty fun. Just thanking the lore master one more time. Alright, so out of the dungeons, and then I think probably up this way is where I'm going to be going. I hate the defilers. They're so annoying. Looks like it's going to be up here. Sure enough, there it is. Right through here is going to be Nazgûl. Sorry, not Barad Guldur. That's a few episodes from now. But next up, we're going to be doing Nazgûl right in here. So thanks for watching and see you next episode.